Professional. Look at this setup. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's live stream. I love these. I love talking to you guys. I love answering questions. Let's go to the chat here. We're just getting started. Still getting a little set up. If you are viewing live, welcome. Put in the chat where you're from. We'll see if I can read this correctly, but look at this. Gotta put my TX on. Let's see. Look at this. We got lighting. This time. Give me one sec. Put my TX on. That's my. What's going on, Facebook user? I can't see Facebook user's name, but I'm sure you're pretty cool. What is going on? Okay, I got to turn my notifications off because I'm also getting blown up. There we go. Cool. Colney, Lancaster, UK. Okay, did I say that right? Colney? That's pretty cool. So we got people from the UK. What time is it in the UK right now? It's like, what, 8 p.m.? 8 p.m. is my guess. UK, 8 p.m. Thanks for tuning in at 8 p.m. Awesome. Well, in this week's live stream, I think we're going to be bringing on one or two guests potentially to go live. In the meantime, I'm going to be answering all of your questions because we do have a lot of questions. And I'm going to be kind of I'm going to get started where we left off in the last live stream, which I never got to answer. Like how I'm going about figuring out what e-com product to choose. So I'll talk about that in a second. Deirdre, are we able to drop a live stream link? I know we do have one guest that I believe is going live with us today. If you just drop that in the chat. If you'd like to go live, make sure you have good audio. Make sure your camera's all good to go. You're looking all pretty. I know you don't have these lights here. You don't got this set up here, but if you do want to go live, Deirdre's going to drop a link in the chat. Again, I think we do have one or two guests that we already lined up, but 6 p.m. It's 6 p.m. in the UK. Super cool. So, what's that? Okay. So let's get kind of where we left off here last week, which is how I'm going about choosing an e-com product. So, there's a lot of ways to go about figuring out, hey, what is it that I'm actually going to start? What product am I going to sell? What niche am I going to go into? What's important is that you pick a niche. It's very important to pick a group of people. The product initially does not matter. It matters that you pick a group of people to serve. I'm not starting a coffee company. I'm starting a company that's mission is to help as many dogs as possible. We make coffee with a mission, with a purpose for a very specific group of people. So the reason you want to do that is once you pick that group of people, then you can kind of figure out what products to build around that. So initially, I did some research. I was like, okay, what do I want to do? What group of people do I want to serve? And the reason I went with, I'm going to start off with why I went with the dog niche is actually like about I want to say like 6 to 8 months before this project started, me and my girlfriend were actually thinking about starting our first e-commerce business, and we were going to help save as many dogs as we possibly could. And we were going to start a business that donated a lot of profit. Both my girlfriend and I are very passionate about helping save dogs. Also, we're passionate about preventative measures to keep the amount of dogs in shelters down, like free neutering, free spaying. So this was something that we wanted to do previously. We never got too far with it, though. We looked at some stuff. We're like, we didn't take it very seriously, though. We did look at it. So she's even more crazy passionate about this mission than I am. So my thought process, the reason I chose the dog niche was this would be great once this project's over. A lot of people have asked, like, what are you going to do with the business? It'd be amazing to thank my girlfriend for everything she's done by, running this company maybe with her afterwards and figuring out how she can be involved once this project's done. And then I can work towards that mission that we wanted to work towards anyway. So that's why I chose the niche. Now, I did do research though. And I looked at how many people own dogs, how many coffee lovers are in the US, what is the growth rate of people consuming coffee in the US? What is the growth rate of dog ownership? And all I cared about, is there a big enough market and are people still spending money on coffee? Now, with the specific product of coffee, the reason I decided to do that was, number one, I have access to a coffee supplier in Austin that I met. Now, that's not the biggest reason to go and do that, but I have access to really good coffee. I met with the person. Originally, I was going to do like this political coffee to make some quick cash. And we already built a relationship. I already know a little bit about the business. I was like, this would be pretty cool. I'm not just going to be doing coffee, though. I'm going to launch a couple different products. And I'm going to start with what's called print on demand. So I looked into some stuff. Printify is really big, where you can like design t-shirts, design mugs, design all these different things, and then sell it. So the main product I'm going to sell is coffee, but I'm also going to be selling other different products, starting with print on demand, and then potentially launching other products throughout the brand that I built. So it all starts with brand. It all starts with mission. And I'm really excited to be building this e-com company. But that's how I went about doing the research. It wasn't too intense. I used tools like SEMrush to do some market sizing stuff. I'd use things like Google Trends, but I didn't go super crazy with it. Razvan says, hello, what is up, Razvan? Okay, so if I think Deirdre dropped a link. She says link to join Mike. She dropped it on Facebook. I don't know if she dropped it on YouTube or not, but the link is on Facebook. If you'd like to join the live stream and go live, I'm happy to bring you guys on and answer some questions. So as we're waiting for whoever's going to be joining live, someone says, let's see, get your own blend of coffee, a mixture of different beans. Yeah, so I have a guy here in Austin that I met, and he's going to be handling all like the roasting, and he's the coffee expert. The reason I'm choosing the coffee brand, by the way, is the coffee this guy makes is freaking incredible. Like, it is so good. I actually tried the coffee before I even met him because my roommate had given me some of his coffee. I wasn't planning on starting a coffee business at that time, but it was really, really, really good. So I met with him. I really enjoyed my conversations with him. He'll be probably on the YouTube channel pretty shortly. We were supposed to meet in person, but hopefully it'll be this week. He doesn't know about the channel, but we'll hopefully be able to record. Okay, cool. So I see that Brandon has joined here. I'll give him a second to set up, and then I'm going to bring him on live. I know Brandon has been going through our free Open Agency Accelerator course that I created to show you guys. It's the course that I wish I had when I started my agency, Told Media. And I just break down how I built Told Media to $1 million, so you can do it too. Totally free, no upsells, no bullshit. Literally just trying to help. And I know Brandon's been really active in building his agency. So I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to do some questions with Brandon. What's up, dude?
Hey, Mike. How's the audio and video?
Audio is great, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I actually got lighting as well.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So I'm going to look, my camera's up here, so it's going to look weird. It'll look like I'm looking at you, but really you're down here.
That's good to know. Yeah, I feel down there, so that's good. That makes sense.
You know what? My imagination went in some weird spots, but let's get to the questions here. So first off, how's everything been? I know that you've been working hard on getting the agency off the ground. Also, I believe you were expecting a baby.
We have a baby. We have a baby. Congrats. And a 4-year-old. Thank you.
That's amazing.
It is. Yeah, it's hectic, chaotic.
I can imagine, man. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, cool stuff. So what can I help you with today?
Yeah. So I guess the main question I had, and I think it's a good segue based on what you were just explaining how you got into the coffee and the e-commerce business. What made you decide? I know you mentioned that service businesses are generally preferable when you're starting out because there's low initial investment and you can learn and hustle. What made you choose to do a software development agency in particular? When I know that you had never written a line of code and you probably didn't have a ton of industry knowledge. So just kind of how you chose to do it and how you actually educated yourself to the point of being able to succeed at it.
And that's a great question.
My wife wanted to.
Oh, there's the baby. Congrats. That's great. Yeah, so it's a great question, Brandon. So first off, let me like clarify. I've never written a line of code, but I did start a couple failed tech companies. So I was building a skill set in what's called product management. I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't know what product management meant. I didn't know what that was. If you don't know what it is, if you're watching, you can go look it up. But pretty much a product manager is someone that kind of manages a development team in a process and picks what features to build. So I kind of started getting good at doing that because I started a couple tech companies that failed. So I understood enough about technology from doing that and working directly with my co-founders that were technical. So, I've never written a line of code still to this day, but I understood product development very well. And that's kind of how I got good at that. Now, with that being said, I would be super confident starting an accounting practice or a law firm, which law firms are illegal to start if you don't have a law degree or pass the bar. But I feel very confident doing that tomorrow as long as I had the technical skill on my side. And what I mean by that is if I found someone that is either going to be a partner or a senior level hire that can run the fulfillment of the business. So right now, during this project, that's what I'm trying to do with the agency that I'm building. You can look at my social media following. We don't have a huge following, like 1,400 followers now on Instagram. We have 1,400 on YouTube. TikTok's getting a little bit bigger. We have 45,000 on TikTok. Facebook, we have a couple hundred. Before this project, I never did anything with social media ever. So on my end, I've been able to learn it pretty quickly. Just spending 3 months on studying TikTok, studying Instagram. That's all it really took for me to get to the level where I feel like I have somewhat of an expertise in it. But I want to focus on building a business, which means I want to focus on the business operations. I need someone that can do the fulfillment. I'm going to go hire someone, which I did, to handle all fulfillment for client projects that has much more experience and expertise than I do. So I think in your case, you want to be able to do that as quickly as possible. And there's a lot of different ways you can do this, Brandon, which we've been talking privately. So you're aware. One of the best ways to do this is to partner with an agency off the bat, because you're partnering with an agency. They already have processes. They've worked with a lot of clients. They know how to deal with clients. Because if you're by the way, Brandon, you're starting an AR development company.
No, it's right now it's e-commerce development, software development.
Okay, so is that Shopify and things like that?
That was actually going to be one of my follow-up questions for you.
Okay, cool.
I got to niche down.
Cool, and we'll talk about that. So if you're starting with Shopify or e-commerce development, first off, I know someone I can introduce you to that runs a pretty successful e-com dev company in Philadelphia. I actually got matched with him on Lunch Club,
nice.
Which Lunch Club's what I think you just joined.
Did.
Awesome platform. But I got matched with him on Lunch Club. I'll make an intro to him. If you just follow up with me and let me know. But okay. They don't specialize in Shopify, them specifically. They do a lot of different e-commerce development. And so they might be a great company to partner with, right? Because they know how to do fulfillment. They're really fucking good at it. And you can focus on getting new business. And then once you do 1 project, 2 projects, 3 projects with them, you learn a lot of things you need to learn. You get more comfortable with the technical. And then you have some cash flow to go and maybe make your own hire internally. So that's the easy way to do it. It's a little bit riskier if you go the freelancer route, but it could be a lot more rewarding if you go the freelancer route and you hire a really senior level freelancer that you pay $60, $70, $80 an hour, but they do all the fulfillment and you start hiring people under that individual. That's also a really good route to go. But I'd hire very senior. And they'll be able to run client calls. And that's what I did in the beginning with Toll Media, by the way. I could not run client calls. I had to have my senior engineer on the client calls with me to close the deals because I just don't know how to talk about certain things.
Right.
There's just things that I needed him on the call to talk about, which is fine. So he would ask the questions and go through the technical things. I would handle more the conversation and like get down to like, okay, let's figure out the problem solving. He jumps in when it's technical. I jump in when we're trying to figure out how to move the ball forward and work together and problem solve. So really, those are the two options I'd be looking at. I wouldn't necessarily look to partner equity-wise with someone off the bat, unless you work with someone for a little bit. That's where it becomes more of a viable option. I think it's just like getting married. You don't want to get married without dating someone. That can lead to some serious problems. So in the beginning, I would really try to work with someone first. After you work with someone, then potentially, and it could be the freelancer, by the way. You could let the freelancer know, which, by the way, could bring up problems if you don't partner with them later. But you could let them know, like, hey, I'm looking for someone to partner with. If this goes well, you could become a partner. If it doesn't go super well and they don't become a partner, again, that could probably lead to issues down the line. But then, you could kind of figure that out as you go, and just be like really transparent with all that and communicate super well. But does that answer your question?
It does, yeah. With you starting with a freelancer, were you paying him out of pocket initially, or how did you handle that?
Yes. So it's very easy. So like interview freelancers, find who you want to work with or agencies, and then let them know like, hey, I'm just starting my agency. I'm looking, and this is how I interview for this in the beginning. I'm looking for someone to handle all the fulfillment for whatever projects that we do. And then eventually I want this person to be full-time and communicate that. And then you'll get people that'll say yes. You'll find someone you really like. You'll do a project. If they do well, great. If they don't do well, great. You have 2, 3, 4, 5 other people in line. But you start doing projects and you match what you pay them to the contract you sign. So if you sign a retainer with the client and it's a $2,000 retainer, $20,000 retainer, whatever it may be, you compensate them on retainer as well. If you sign hourly with the client, you sign an hourly with them as well. Now, you could sign a retainer with the client and then do an hourly with the person. That's very dangerous, though, because if you fuck up that retainer with the client, let's say you do a $2,000 retainer and you're paying the freelancer $100 an hour and they bill 40 hours instead of 20, then you just lost $2,000. So that's why I say be careful with that type of stuff. But as long as you're very transparent up front and you're like, hey, I need someone to like run client projects. I'm looking for the right person. I want to start off as a freelancer, but I'd love to like have this person be in a more full-time role. And you can do that pretty quickly, honestly. Like one contract gets signed and you could have that person full-time now. You just need one yes, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I love it. You talked about how you just keep working, keep trying new things, and you're just one deal away from changing your business.
100%. I had clients that overnight, like we were doing $20,000 in revenue. I remember on monthly retainer that turned into like $80,000 retainers. It all happened overnight. We're like, holy shit. One client could come in, they need 2 developers, and then all of a sudden 2 developers, they end up needing all this other work and they need 8 full-time developers. And you're just like, holy shit. Like I'm literally bringing in 500,000, 700,000 revenue run rate. It's very, very, very real if you do good work.
That's awesome. So something, I think I'd mentioned this to you privately, something interesting kind of happened. I'm talking with a guy who owns his own agency. I co-owns it in Tampa, whose background's in finance, just like yours and just like mine. And I was thinking, I guess this question is, how do you know when you're too into the weeds versus not enough into the weeds? Because my concern was what you're saying. I started visualizing these phone calls. I've been in Facebook groups. I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. This isn't going to go well.
Sure.
And so I was on the phone with him and I was like, obviously I need to learn a whole lot more about the product development lifecycle. I need to learn a whole lot more about a lot. And he actually was telling me I'm going way too far, and that he doesn't. I said, for example, if I'm talking with someone in the e-commerce space and they're pitching me a particular vision or problem that they're having, and I wouldn't have any idea what tech stack to use, and I wouldn't be able to say, X, Y, Z. And he said, well, he doesn't know either. And that's okay, because he says, hey, I actually don't know. I actually don't.
The technical person figures that out. Exactly. So on your end, you need to problem solve and figure out, okay, what's this problem that they have? And then, if you have someone like him on the call, he has a lot more experience handling those. So he can run those calls and you'll start seeing, okay, he's recommending this. Okay, he's recommending that. Okay, he's recommending this. And you start building up an expertise based off working with him. This is why, which a lot of people watching this probably haven't gone through the course, If you want to go through the course, it's, I believe, mikeblack.co/accelerator. Again, totally free. But you want to also get technical experts, not just, technical mentors, not just mentors that run agencies. Because in this case, if you get someone that's very technical, that understands this stuff, they can, if you have 3 technical mentors, they can give you 3 different perspectives. And then you can start seeing what might be the right perspective in the right technology stack. It's better than just being like, have one person that kind of mentors you. And if they are saying things wrong and you don't know, then you're going to like believe that stuff, which, can definitely happen. Some people love doing things a certain way. So to be careful with that. But the point is, on the first call, you typically might not even have to go that deep into like tech stack and whatnot. You just need to figure out, okay, what is your problem? And once you know the problem, here are different solutions and different routes we could potentially go. And I just solve their problem. Now, again, if you have someone else on the call like him that has experience, he can run a lot of that stuff. And you can start hearing it and getting better and better and understanding how to run those. But yeah, you could also overthink it too. Like you don't necessarily have to go super deep. You just want to build that like high level knowledge so you can start running those, but let someone else be the really technical person. You just have to figure out who is that going to be moving forward over the next 3 to 6 months for the business. And if that person's great and you really like them and you guys can work together well, then like maybe that's a great relationship. I'd also like looking to see if you can find some freelancers that could potentially do it as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just have one more question for you.
Let's hear it.
So I think you're probably going to kind of answer this for me through your connection, which I appreciate. But in terms of niching down for e-commerce, I know you had mentioned something about how you try to add value, and 90% of the basically inbound interest you were receiving on Facebook groups, you were actually telling them not to work with you. So I wouldn't want to work with people who would be better off with Shopify or some pre-built platform that would be far more efficient for them.
Sure.
So I guess, how would you go about, if you were me and you found the e-commerce space interesting, but there are so many just, ready built platforms already out there that are usually better for people, how would you go about trying to find and carve a niche ethically that made sense?
Yeah, I turn down a lot of business. So like if I can't tell you, Brandon, how much business I've turned down. Like there's so many people that come to me and they want to build an MVP, and I'm like, you should use bubble.io. Like it's so much better for what you're doing. I tell them exactly how to do it, and I tell them there's the door, go do this. And I've sent this one dude, his name's Peng. I sent this kid so much business. Like I've sent this kid 20 leads. I'm not even kidding. Because I'm just like, hey, like you can do this way cheaper, way faster using Bubble. And then once it's ready, like maybe we could work together. So like I want to work with either companies that have raised capital or mid to larger companies that can afford having like full-time engineers for a certain period of time. So that's where I play. I also don't play I don't want to work on projects with like Google. Like that's not where I want to be. I don't want to work on like that super like crazy stuff. Cause that's like a lot of stress. That's like I had to hire like very, very senior people that I pay instead of $120,000 a year, $250,000 a year. So like in that case, you have to figure out like where in the market do you want to play. Now, if Shopify is super big and you want to play on Shopify, great. I would just turn down anything that you're non-expertise at. If you want to go a higher level up than Shopify, because there's a lot of companies, once they grow to a certain point, they have to get off Shopify. If you want to play a little bit higher level than Shopify, that's great too. But if Shopify is the best solution for someone, I would push them to Shopify. I'd be like, hey, look, we don't do Shopify, and maybe partner with another agency and get a referral fee. I don't have a referral fee for the person I send business, but you can do that and find like a partner agency that can just do all the Shopify stuff, or maybe even have them white label their service and like still offer Shopify, but this other agency does it. Now, this guy that I'm going to introduce you to, he doesn't do Shopify, but I can't remember, but he does like the bigger stuff. And like personally, I wouldn't want to do that. That seems like what he does seems like, they bill very high, which is great. It's an awesome business. Personally, he's a developer. He loves that stuff. I wouldn't enjoy doing that. So I would need someone like him on my team. And then it'd be great because I'd just be like, okay, I got a new lead. Here you go. gotten some new business. Here you go. And then he handles, that'd be a great partner. He handles fulfillment. I handle business. So I hope, does that answer your question?
Yeah. No, that was really helpful. I appreciate it.
Super cool, man. Well, hey, congrats again on the new baby. And
Thanks.
if you have any follow-up questions, just feel free to DM me, and then I'll also DM me, and I'll make an intro, and hopefully you guys can connect.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Cool. Absolutely. See you, Brendan.
See ya.
All right. Brandon's a good guy. He's crushing. Out of everyone that's gone through the course, Brandon is putting in the fucking work. He's putting in the work. All right. So let's get to some of these comments. Someone asked, where is the course? It is, again, I think it's mikeblack.co/accelerator. If you go to mikeblack.co, it's on there. It's called the Open Agency Accelerator. Oh, someone dropped it. mikeblack.co/accelerator. It's in the comments on YouTube. Okay. So someone asked, what if you have a very small budget? I don't remember what you may have been referring to, but in the agency world, you don't need any money. All you need maybe is a domain name, hosting, website, $100 at most, and you're good to go. Okay, the same person asked, okay, so this person's 11. So TikTok, pointing at TikTok right now. TikTok has been, are we not live on Insta, by the way? I didn't go live on Insta. Let's go live. Hold on, everyone. We're going live on Insta. So TikTok has been pushing recently with their algorithm. They've been pushing my content to a younger audience, which they did not do in the beginning. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know if it's certain hashtags we use or what, but TikTok has been pushing my content to a younger audience, which I love, because I wish I had a mentor when I was 16 years old and started my business. So, I get pretty excited about it. But it says, but if you're 11 and want to do this, no one's going to take you seriously. So if you're a young kid, 11 is really young. Yeah, you're going to have issues with people taking you seriously for sure. My recommendation to an 11-year-old, if you're a young kid, you're under 18 and you want to start a business, I would maybe start with something that you can build an expertise in. If you're 11, like, you probably know TikTok. I'm assuming you found me on TikTok. If you're an 11-year-old kid, you might be able to show businesses how to use TikTok and charge them a consulting fee. There was someone who was 18. The kid was 18 years old. 18 years old. And he came to me, to $1 Million Comeback, to run our TikTok. Kid was fucking 18, but he had close to 7 million followers on TikTok. And he was really good. He was amazing, actually. If we never met the one time that we met in person, I would have thought this kid was 30. So in that case, that kid's totally crushing it. He's 18 years old. I almost wrote him a check for $5,000 a month. So, if you're good, you're good. If you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. At 11, though, again, yeah, it's going to be hard to like close deals with big companies. But if you have a portfolio like he does, he's able to do it. He closes deals with a lot of companies. He's not 11. He is 18. But if you are younger, maybe think of services that you can offer in your local area that might not be as hard to close. Like maybe like mowing lawns. That's a great service. Like I would totally, what's that? Flip life. Get into the flip life. You can flip stuff. If you do e-commerce, doesn't matter how old you are. Like minus, like, I don't know the rules around like structuring a business. If you're 11, you probably have to like do it with your parents or something. Someone's telling me to read the comments. If you're 11, focus on creating awesome work is what Reg Clay says. I agree with that. Yeah, this is what this TikTok kid did. Like he created amazing content. He built an amazing portfolio. Like if you really want to work with the big boys, portfolio, period. Like it's funny because at MDC we were interviewing editors and we hired an amazing editor that's on our team, and we were talking about all this because he went to a good school for film, and I was like, we had an internal discussion. I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck that you went to film school. I give zero fucks. Portfolio. I want to see the portfolio, and if the portfolio is good, that's all I care about outside of Then you have the soft skills. Can the person communicate? Can the person hit deadline? Are they passionate about the mission? Are they a good culture fit? I care about that. So portfolio. Okay, so cool stuff. You save a website. Say you're live on it. I can talk the talk. Okay, so Tycoonsy, if you have more questions, drop them in the comments. Happy to answer them. If anyone else has more comments, feel free to put them in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. We have about 30 more minutes here. For those that are joining live, because we have a lot of people that are hopping on, welcome. Let me know in the comments where you're from. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you want to go live, feel free to let us know, and Deirdre will send you a link. Okay, so what I want to talk about in the rest of this live stream, minus getting to everyone's questions, I want to talk about how this last week's gone so far, because a lot's happened. We've been moving quickly, signed this big tech company, and things have been moving in a great direction. Now I have to really figure out, like, how do I deploy capital? Where am I spending that cash? And for me, I've started to realize I really want to be deploying as much of that capital into my e-com business as possible, but you have to deploy capital correctly, right? You have your initial costs, which you want to keep as low as possible. Then you have marketing costs and you have product costs. So you can constantly invest in, we'll call it R&D, and making the product better. You can also invest in marketing. For an agency, you can always invest in sales, or you could always invest in hiring senior leadership. These are problems that everyone faces, and you have to make those decisions on when do I invest, where do I invest, how do I do it? My thought, my approach right now are for the e-com business, I got my initial setup costs, and I'm going to dump as much money as possible into marketing. For the agency, I would like to hire someone in a senior level role that I can like put a lot of contracts under, and then hire for sales. What's cool about that is I can do a lot of sales myself right now, and then maybe hire like a VA to do like outbound sales, which I'm trying to set up right now. So those are some things that are going on at the moment. Someone asked, I started looking for leads on Indeed. Should I go for personalized email, or can I call them up? So Red Clay Creative, I think it's important to do both. I would send a cold email and cold call. Make sure I try to be very specific with Indeed. So like on Indeed, I will like create landing pages that are very like an accounting practice, for example, accounting marketing. We help accountants grow. I'm looking for accountants that want marketing services. I'm sending them a cold email. Without me like even sending them to the website, they're going to look at my website and go, oh, wow, this person just works with accountants. And then I'm really going to stick to that brand and like really try to grow accounting practices for a long period of time. So that's kind of how all that works. What's up, people of Instagram? I'm getting all these hearts. I don't know what that means. Perlick, what's going on? But yeah, Indeed's great. And by the way, for all you guys that don't know, I've been telling you all about Indeed. I'm like, go on Indeed, use Indeed. I call it warm outbound. The reason it's not cold outbound, it's warm. They're already looking for that role. If you go to Indeed.com, contract, look for people who are hiring contractors, get in front of them. It's a great way to get some clients pretty quickly. So someone asked, how's the coffee business going? It's going okay. I'm a little bit behind Piggy Edits. A little bit behind on the coffee business right now. Spent a lot last week kind of like setting things up with this client. It's been a lot of client work. But we're doing all the branding today. My designer's working on a lot of the branding, and we're getting things off the ground, which is really exciting. I'm meeting with the coffee supplier in person this week. As long as he doesn't cancel on me, we'll be having that meeting. And we're going to start with probably 3 to 6 coffees. So pretty excited about that. It's a lot of money up front to get these things off the ground because you're not ordering a lot in bulk. So think about all the costs of doing this, guys. Like the first cost I have is I need to get bags. Those bags are expensive. Then now I have a decision. I can either design the bag or I can design stickers to put on the bag. I'm going with stickers because they're cheaper. So I got to get bags. Then I got to get all these stickers done. The stickers are expensive when you're ordering in small quantities. Then I have to also order a card that I'm going to put in every box that pretty much says thank you so much for supporting our mission. If you take a picture of our products with your dog, we'll feature you on our page. That's a way to get people to share as much as possible. So I have to get those cards done. And then I also need to get the boxes done and designed and all that stuff. And I'm looking at anywhere from like $1 to $3 a box. So each bag of coffee that I sell is going to be pretty expensive for me internally. So I'm selling it for $20 a bag for a pound or a 12 ounce. And it's going to cost me at least $10 internally. So we have a 50% gross margin, which sounds good, but cost for acquiring new customers is probably not going to be that cheap. So we'll see how that all plays out. But it should be a lot of fun. All right. Someone says, I think you should get this 11-year-old on. If you want to come on, man, let me know. Deirdre dropped the link. Someone asked, Ever Calderon asked, how's ATX treating you? ATX has been great. I pretty much live at the office, so I don't know too much ATX stuff that's going on. But I love Austin. The weather here's incredible. Courage says, I want to get my personal brand out there. Any advice? All right, Courage. In terms of personal branding, you have to figure out who are you going to serve? Where can you add the most value? Don't try to serve everyone. And also be authentic. So the more authentic you are, the more you're going to draw the people in that are going to most, be drawn in by your brand. If you're authentic, people are going to be attracted to that. If I came on here and I wasn't authentic, if I was really politically correct and that's how I acted, that's going to bring in a certain audience. I'm not politically correct, and I don't want the fucking politically correct losers listening to my content. So I attract the people that maybe aren't as politically correct, maybe. It's for you have to figure out, what do you do? Who do you do it for? Where do you add the most value? And then put out content. Do not be scared to post. Fucking post and post and post. Even if you suck at it, post. If you go to my Instagram feed to when we started this project, the time I didn't know what I was doing, there was one specific post. It was like a July 4th post. I got laughed at behind my back by a lot of people. You could see a bunch of people were internally messaging it. Friends were making fun of me. Bunch of people. I didn't give a fuck. I don't care. What I cared about is I was learning how to use the platform. I was learning, maybe that type of content doesn't do super well. Maybe people, whatever. Point is, you got to not give a shit. At the high level, if I'm too scared to post, then I'm not learning how to post. I'm not getting better at posting. I'm not getting better at creating content, getting my message out. And then I'm not going to be able to help the people I want to help. So really figure out, what is my North Star? Who do I want to help? Who is that person that I care so much that if I don't get my message out to them and I don't help them, I'm going to feel like shit because I didn't do my job, my duty of helping those people. If you have a message, it's your duty to help people. That's how I feel about it. So I hope that's helpful. Courage, you just have to have the courage to start posting. Okay. Someone, Harris says, hey, Mike, you schmuck. I think, is schmuck a Jewish word? Is that a Jewish word? I'm 99.4% Ashkenazi Jew, by the way. I feel like schmuck. It sounds like a Jewish word. I'm assuming you're a Jew, Harris. But hello to you too. Someone says, you put up a July 4th post that you made fun of. I thought it was fine. I guess that shows how stupid I am with social media because I still don't get it. Not totally following. Oh, you said you thought that was fine. I see. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was fine too. I can show you on Instagram. No one DMs. It was a lot of friends that were probably like, hey, look at this loser putting a headshot of himself. Which is kind of funny. I thought it was kind of funny too. When I looked at it, I was like, yeah, what? That's kind of funny. But the thing is, you don't let that stuff get to you. But I think because I never really post on Instagram at all, it was very weird for people to just see me put a headshot out of nowhere. So they were laughing about it. But you gotta be like, cool with it. Cool. Laugh. I'm trying to help the people I want to help. Don't care. Someone named BB says, I'm reporting you. I see what you're doing and it's gross. Okay. Courage says, okay, thank you so much. Courage, appreciate you. Hope that was helpful. Someone says your content's good. That's why I followed you. Thanks. I hope it's helpful. Another 13-year-old. How can I make money as a 13-year-old? Okay, so the theme of this show today is going to be how do we make money when we're under 18? Fucking TikTok. You know what's funny? I tell everyone, I'm like, TikTok, you can get in front of business owners on TikTok if you just use the right hashtags. Something has been super weird with our algorithm, and it's been blowing up for a younger audience, which again, super cool. I love helping young entrepreneurs. So how can I make money as a 13-year-old? You got to figure out what you're good at. Do you like service business? Do you like e-commerce? E-commerce, I think, is great as a younger kid. What I don't like about e-com when you're a younger kid is it requires capital up front. When I was 16, I started my first business. At 16 doing e-com, and that requires capital up front unless you're like drop shipping and all that stuff. So I lost money. And if I would have started a service business, which I ended up starting one pretty quickly, that generates cash flow, especially if you're freelancing. So if I'm a 13-year-old kid, maybe check out sites like Upwork. Figure out if you could do like social media marketing for someone. Figure out if you're coming from TikTok, maybe you're good at TikTok. Offer that as a service to people. Offer a service that you're doing yourself so you can start learning client work and you can start actually generating revenue. The fundamentals of business are the same, whether you're an e-com company, a service business, whatever it is, fundamentals are the same. So if you can learn those fundamentals, it'll really help you when you go from 13 to 16 to 18. Chase says, Mike, the babysitter. That's what we are today, baby. We're babysitting. But these aren't babies. These are fucking hustlers. These kids are hustling. I'm telling you guys, these kids that are in my DMs, 16, 17, 13 years old, the one kid that I brought on live, the 17-year-old, that kid is potentially about to close his first wholesale deal. Kid's fucking 17. You guys are watching like, how do I get started? This 17-year-old's fucking killing it. He has all these mentors. Doesn't matter what your age is. If you're willing to put in the work, I'd leverage the hell out of the fact that I'm a younger kid and tell everyone, hey, I'm 17, help me. And people are going to be like, I'd love to help a kid out. Someone commented on the camera lighting. Where's that? Someone says, quality and lighting looks great. What camera are you using? All right, Grow Pro. You just made my girlfriend very happy because she set all this up. Do you want to hop in here? Deirdre set all this up. She's the amazing person behind all this. So, and Logan and our videographer who's filming. So the camera I am using is, what is it? Canon RP. So we're using a Canon RP. I do have a lens that was like $1,000 or $1,500, something like that. Do you know what type of lens I'm using? 17 Tamron 1735 millimeter. But we have a bunch of lights. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 lights right now. So all Deirdre, she did all this. So she's very happy that you said that, Grow Pro. You just made her day. Thank you for the nice comment. Jay's Joint 215, my cousin, says you are also a mensch. Mensch is another Jewish term. Jason, I don't know who's more of a Jew, my man. I don't know if you know this, Jason, but 99.4% Ashkenazi Jew, 23andMe. So if you guys are following my content, you're like, how is Mike on this other level of doing business? Right here. This right here. And by the way, you have to be over 99% Jewish to have this ability. I can sniff out deals. I can sniff shit out. It is my superpower. This fucking nose right here. I can sniff out business deals. I can sniff shit out. Jason, I don't know if you're 99%, so I'm sorry, my friend. Maybe if it was, Jay's would be doing a little bit better. But actually, Jay's Joint, which if anyone's in Philly, they're doing really fucking well. So I guess you are 99%. My cousin runs a really successful hoagie shop, and I'm not just saying that. He has 4.8 stars on Google and Facebook. Really good food. Okay, so let me get back to all the comments here. Let's see. Okay. So Tycoonzy says I searched for business users on TikTok. So I guess you searched me out and somehow found the page. That's super cool, man. Dude, I'm so pumped for you being, what is it? 11 or 13? Can't remember now. So 11? 13. Being 13 years old. I wish I started my first business at 13. It was at 16. So Tycoonzy, feel free to keep messaging me on Instagram. I'm happy to support you. And whatever questions that you have. Someone asked, what company should I buy shares in the stock market? I don't know. I lost $45,000 on my last investment. So I'm not here to give any stock investing advice. Probably not a good person to listen to when it comes to that. Jason says, send them my way. I need someone to make social videos for me. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so look at this. Jason, my cousin, I've been talking to him through text, just like consulting him. I don't talk to you that much, Jason, but I hit up Jason and I'm just like, hey man, because I watch you on TikTok and I've been giving him advice on do this. Because TikTok's a whole new platform. It's hard to create content. So if you're a 13-year-old watching right now, or a 16-year-old, however old you are, and you know how to create content for TikTok, Jason right here is like, send them my way. I need help. Like, you can help business. If you actually know how to create content for TikTok, you can add a lot of value to a business owner. I would just pick a niche. Like, Jason runs a restaurant, maybe help out restaurants and then become the restaurant guy. And if you build a good portfolio, a bunch of restaurants are going to want to work with you, like Jason. Okay. Tycoon says, when you're 11, you have so many ideas. How do you choose the best one? I mean, I struggle with that. I have ideas all the time, right? Ideas are nothing. You got to execute. So when it comes to actually choosing the ideas to pursue personally, your business acumen grows over time as you start more and more businesses. So like when I was 17, 18, 19, 22, and I had an idea for a business, I did not break down the process as well as I do now in my head of how to actually build the business. Okay, I need to think about like cost per acquisition. I understand now the financials behind running a business, what certain things cost, what it costs to hire people. So my advice here is just start pursuing some things, but get mentors that have already done that so they can maybe help you and say, hey, that's unrealistic. It's going to cost you $200 to acquire an SEO customer, client, whatever. So you have to put that in your financial model. People that have already done what you're trying to do, talk to them, get mentors. Now, with all those ideas, I like to pursue a couple at a time and just test certain things out, or just be focused on just one. Focus is really important. So it's a hard question to answer. It really depends on what else you're balancing out. It's good to like throw a bunch of shit against the wall, see what sticks. Okay, I did this for this, this for this, this for this. This went really well. I'm going to focus on just this business. Or again, just focus on the one that you like the best. But you have to figure out how you're going to validate. So it's called hypothesis testing. If you're a young kid watching this, read the book called The Lean Startup. It talks all about hypothesis testing and testing and validating your ideas. So you have to figure out, if I want to pursue this business, how am I going to validate that people actually want this? How am I going to validate that this is a viable business? Lean Startup's a great book to teach you that stuff. Okay. Jason says that he's 97% Jewish. So I have the superpower that you don't, Jason. I can sniff out a good deal. 99.4% Ashkenazi Jew right here. Okay, cool stuff. So in the comments, we like to play video games. You like to fish, you like baseball. What business should I make? I mean, again, that's hard, but like if you could do something you're passionate about, that's super great. Like if you love playing video games, like I know there's a lot of live streamers, right? What types of services could you offer to live streamers to maybe get them more viewership on their live stream? Could you create live stream pages? I don't know much about the video game space, but like, could you like curate people's live stream content? If you like to fish, could you sell fishing products? Like if I like to fish, I would figure out how to build a fishing business. I'd learn how to market fishing stuff. On Instagram, Sean says, I like hurling. I don't know what that is. I don't know if this is a weird comment or if hurling is a is a sport, whatever hurling is. But if you like hurling, fucking hurl. Sell fishing equipment. If you said you like baseball, maybe sell baseball gear. Maybe do marketing for fishing companies. Let's see. Someone says Lean Startup is great. I would also recommend checking out The Business Model Generation by Alexander. Don't know how to, it's a long name. Okay. Mikey says, I'm having trouble with being apathetic about creating goals and organization to better my life. Good at gaining knowledge, but have trouble consistently executing on it. So I'm going to assume that that's a question on how do you get better at that? Creating goals. So I think creating goals is super hard because if you don't know where you want to go, you're kind of just going blind everywhere, Mikey. So what I would suggest is at a very high level, this is how I do it. I go, what would make me super happy if I had $5 million in my bank account right now? What would I do? $5 million. What would I do? What type of impact would I be focusing on? Would I screw off on a beach? Would I spend all my time helping dogs? Would I, spend time investing? What would I be doing? And whatever that answer is, a lot of times you can start doing it right now. So if you're like, I had $5 million, I would spend all my time helping kids. You can help kids right now. You can do that in your free time, right? If your answer is like, I would screw off on a beach, that's what I would do. If I had $5 million, I'd screw off on a beach. I'd be super happy. Then do things to get to that lifestyle. Which one, I'd be finding jobs where I'm working remotely. I'd be building a business where I can work remote. I'd be building a business where maybe I can hire it out pretty quickly. And then set goals at a high level, very high level. So what I look at, the sphere of everything that's important to me, and everyone has things that are of importance at different times in their life. The way that things I look at is impact. That's usually number one. What are the financial implications of this? What am I going to learn? What types of work am I going to be doing? Who am I going to meet? What types of people am I going to hang out with? What type of work-life balance am I going to have? What type of lifestyle am I going to have? Ask those questions and say, what do I want? What will make me super happy? Is it work-life balance? Is it, I really want to learn a lot of shit. I want to grind 80 hours a week right now so I can grow. And then in 3 years have work-life balance? Is it, I just care about making a lot of money? So that's going to dictate my decision, right? So at a high level, I go, okay, I know that I care about impact. What do I need to do to make impact? For me, it was dropping my whole fucking life and doing this. Might not the ROI might be significantly lower in terms of impact than if I just kept building total media. But I care about impact. If I cared more about financial, maybe I would have went into real estate investing, or maybe I would have just kept growing total media. So you have to figure out those things, and then how do you get there? And, I'm not saying make a 5-year plan, but look more than just 1 year into the future. Like if you need to do something for 1 year where you're like fucking eating shit and like you're grinding to get to where you want to be year 2, then do it. But that's what I'd analyze, Mikey. I hope that's helpful. So HV Travel says, what's your take on MLM businesses? I fucking hate MLM businesses. I think it's nothing I would ever touch. I think it's scummy. I'm not a fan of multi-level marketing whatsoever. I think what's cool about it is you can learn some things about business. But I absolutely hate MLM personally. Not a fan. Okay, where are we at? We have 5 more minutes. Okay. Okay, let me try to get to the rest of these questions. So Mike says, thanks. You're welcome. Someone asks, I have an idea that may be technically difficult. Hollywood making movies and game makers making games that replace the main character with the image of whoever is watching. basically somehow allowing each viewer to be the star of the show/game. Probably technically insanely difficult. Not sure how you would accomplish that, but I could see it happening one day. I mean, that's a pretty cool idea. I don't know how technically difficult that is. Let me just understand this one more time. So pretty much it's a TV show. Your face is in it. So like a video is taking and then put your face in it. I think the technology is actually there to do that. It would be very heavy technically if that's what you're describing, for sure. I don't know what your question is, though. I think you're asking, like, should you pursue it, or how would I go about pursuing that? What I would do is I would find people. I would probably go straight to people that play in the space of like heavy development for that. So like Golang is like real heavy for that type of stuff. VR, AR sounds like that space could be a play. I would talk to as many people as possible in that space. I'd talk to investors in that space. I would talk to very senior developers in that space. I'd start making friends with those people. Tell them your idea. See how viable it is. Do not get scared of people stealing your idea, because people will not steal your idea. That's a fear a lot of people have. It is very tough to just steal someone's idea. Business takes blood, sweat, tears, all your energy. For someone to steal an idea, it would take a lot. So my biggest suggestion is tell me as many people as possible in that space about it. Find technical people that can maybe point you in the right direction. And then if you do decide to pursue it, that's going to take a lot of capital. So you're definitely going to have to raise venture capital for something like that. So start building relationships with investors now. Let's see. Okay. So someone said to someone else that to go on TikTok and start creating content, build an audience, and tell your audience to go to your YouTube and watch Twitch. Rami, I think that's a great piece of advice. I think this person's already on TikTok, so I think that's how they found me. Everyone watching, don't care what your business is. You should be on TikTok. It is like the best way to blow up whatever you do. Super cool. Rami says, that's how I found Mike, through TikTok. That's how everyone's finding us these days. TikTok, everyone, is real. I've said it so many times. Learn to create content for TikTok now. It is not just a TikTok thing. Instagram Reels is going to be huge over the next couple of years. It's going to be huge. YouTube is launching YouTube Shorts. Learning now to create content. There's so many benefits in getting on TikTok now. You learn how to create content for it. You build a massive audience very quickly, potentially. You're ready for Reels. You're ready for YouTube Shorts. You're starting to become very comfortable creating content now versus in 3, 4, 5 years when a lot of other people will start jumping on and they'll be, we'll call it late to the game, so they won't get as much organic viewership. And they'll be a little bit behind when it comes to learning how to do that stuff. So cool stuff. BB says, I'm reporting you. I see what you're doing and it's gross. I don't know why this person keeps saying this. It's really weird, BB. Very strange. What about producing? Okay, we have 2 more minutes. Last question. What about producing a product that would be something to bring families together? I mean, that sounds great. You have to figure out, again, if the audience is going to want to buy whatever it is that you're selling. So a lean startup will help you figure out how to validate your idea. I'll help you very quickly. Okay. Raw V asks, what is your view on wholesaling? I think wholesaling is a great way to get into real estate investing. That's usually, I would assume, one of the first steps people take to get into real estate investing world is wholesaling. I also think wholesaling is an amazing skill to have if you want to be a real estate investor. Being able to get your own wholesale deals would be incredible because you're getting things really below market. A good deal is a good deal, right? There's someone that follows me on Instagram that's 17 years old that found a lead through wholesaling, and he might be closing on his first deal, and he's 17 fucking years old. So it's real. I have friends in the real estate world that wholesale that have made very good money doing it. So I'm a fan of it for sure. If you want to build, I guess we'll say like a real business over time, wholesaling is a good skill, but I'd want to be investing in the real estate, not just wholesaling. But again, I think it could be one of the first steps to doing that. Okay, cool. Okay, this is the last one because we're at 1 p.m. and we gotta hop off pretty soon. But this is the last one because I love this question. Is college worth it? So, TTV, I'm a big proponent against college most of the time. I think college is one of the biggest scams. I don't know any. I have a lot of friends that are still paying off college debt. They're 28, 27, 26 years old that are not doing what they did in college, that are absolutely regret going to college. They got a totally worthless degree, which most degrees are worthless. It depends on what you want to do. College is great if you want to be a lawyer. You need a college degree to be a lawyer. If you want to be a doctor, college is great. You need to go to college if you want to be a doctor. If you want to be something in like engineering science, you got to go to college. If you want to be an entrepreneur, college is the worst fucking decision you could possibly make. If you want to run a business, terrible fucking decision. If you want to work in finance, I think college is a bad decision. If you want to be a software developer, I think college is a terrible fucking decision. If you want to create videos, terrible decision. Anything that requires portfolio or that you can build it without college is a bad decision. Google, I mean, all big tech companies, all big companies that are forward thinking are saying, we don't give a fuck if you have a college degree. I don't give two shits if you have a college degree or not. If you want to work at MDC, I will not give to you. Go to Harvard, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Do not care where you went to school. Let me see the portfolio. Let me talk to you. Let me have a conversation. Let me see that you can consult, that you can hit deadlines, that you fit our culture. Let me follow this up, TTV. What do you want to do? Like, do you have an idea of TTV, what you want to do? Drop it on YouTube, and we'll finish this discussion. Because based off what you want to do, TTV, and you don't have to, I don't know how old you are. I'm assuming you're one of the TikTokers, so you're probably young. There's no reason you should even have an idea what you want to do. Here's the thing, though. The worst thing you can do is put yourself in $100,000 worth of debt because everyone else does it, because your parents want you to go to college. That's one of the worst things you can do. And I think college is a horrible system for figuring out what you want to do. Yeah, let me spend $100,000 blindly in 4 years of my life trying to figure out what I want to do. That's not a good system. If your answer is, I don't know what I want to do, then I think what you need to figure out is, okay, so you're thinking business, real estate, or baseball. Great answer. So business, don't go to fucking college. Real estate, don't go to fucking college. Baseball, get a scholarship for baseball. If you're so good at baseball, get a scholarship. That's my advice. Business, absolutely not. Real estate, fuck no. You can learn all those things. My college degree, I was a finance major, totally worthless, didn't learn shit. The argument of, oh, you meet really cool people and stuff. Yeah, you meet some cool people, but I could also go intern for someone for free instead of wasting $100,000. And I could learn a bunch of cool shit and have a way better network working, say, at a middle market bank and meeting all those people I could meet on Wall Street than going to college and wasting 4 years, $100,000. So I hope that answers your question. But again, not a big proponent of college. That is it for this week's live stream. Thank you so much for everyone that joined. If you do have follow-up questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, YouTube, wherever you're joining. We do these every week at 12 p.m. With that being said, I will see you all in next week's live stream. Thanks for joining.